All right, I'm gonna do USA real quick. I'm still debating on the UK moves, but anyway, 55. Do I still have 55? I don't know. I think so. I don't know all these rule changes. 4 on tech, 3 on fighter, 30 on 3 fighters, carrier, and I'm saving 5. Cool. All right. So, obviously we're not at war yet. We're going to take our destroyer and sub from P38, put it in P57. We're going to take cruiser, destroyer, sub down to P57. We're going to take the transport back to P7. The 2 planes will come to P7. Let's see. Is that it for that? What do you want to do with this guy? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Can't make it. Put him in Guam. We'll put him in the Philippines. We'll put him in Guam. You want to get him? Come get him. Let's see, over here. What are we doing? We're going to take the cruiser transport. And we're going to go 1, 2, 3, the Line Islands. Or 2, 3, 23. Line Islands? Yep, Line Islands. Okay. Yes. All right. All right, carrier. All right, carrier goes down. The 2 fighters that came from Hawaii will go on the carrier. I'll place 1 fighter there. So that's 3. And then I'll place 2 fighters over in Eastern US. So Eastern US has what it has, plus 2 fighters. So it's 3 total fighters. Hawaii, 2 Joes, transport, cruiser, and P32. In P37, I have destroyer, 2 subs, 2 destroyers, 2 subs, and a cruiser. P7, 2 carriers with 4 fighters, or 3 fighters and a tactical. Sorry, I didn't even look at the screen yet. 2 transports, battleship, cruiser, destroyer. There you go. On the mainland. Actually, I'm going to move the strat. No, I'll keep the strat there. Strat, mech, artillery, 2 infantry, 2 fighters, and 2 AAA. I guess I'll go ahead and do Eastern US for kicks. 2 infantry, 3 mech, tank, 2 AAA, and the 3 fighters, like I said. All right. We save 5, so we'll have 60 for next turn. All right. That's 3, 6. All right. That's 60 for US. All right. All right. All right. Let me think on UK for a sec, and I'll get back.